Hello everyone, welcome to Tesla Daily News. Today is June 20th, Saturday, and the following is the latest Tesla news. According to NT News in Australia, Tesla is sharply escalating its push into the Australian market by rolling out version 14 of its full self-driving, now branded FSD Supervised, 4 right-hand drive vehicles. This marks the first time the latest FSD generation is coming to a right-hand drive environment, and it follows version 13, which launched in Australia in September last year and was described as a game-changer by local owners. The report notes that the Tesla Model Y recently became Australia's best-selling car for a month, the first time any electric vehicle has taken the national crown. That milestone suggests Tesla is gaining significant mainstream traction in Australia, not just within EV niches but across the broader auto market. For investors, this validates Tesla's strategy of using software features and brand strength to capture share in markets that historically favored internal combustion vehicles and Japanese or European brands. According to NT News, version 14 of FSD Supervised for Australia brings faster reactions, better handling of emergency vehicles and animals, and new speed profiles ranging from chill to a humorously named sloth. It also promises smarter arrival options at destinations. Over-the-air updates will deliver the software to cars with the required hardware, either for owners who bought FSD outright or who subscribe to it monthly. Early users have already begun testing the software on Australian roads, though Tesla stresses that drivers must remain attentive and responsible at all times. From an investor's point of view, this rollout is important in several ways. First, it extends Tesla's high-margin software revenue model into a growing right-hand drive market, adding to the pool of vehicles capable of generating recurring subscription income. Second, it provides a real-world proving ground for FSD in complex and varied driving conditions, including rural roads, wildlife, and emergency vehicle interactions that are common in Australia. Third, if adoption remains high, it strengthens Tesla's negotiating position with regulators in other right-hand drive markets such as the UK, Japan, and parts of Southeast Asia. However, NT News also mentions that some experts in Australia are warning that FSD is dangerous and already too advanced for the country's current regulatory and infrastructure framework. These critics worry that drivers may overtrust the system or misuse it, potentially leading to incidents that could trigger political or regulatory backlash. For shareholders, this highlights the delicate balance Tesla must strike, pushing innovation and monetization while avoiding headline-grabbing accidents that might slow approvals or lead to costly restrictions. NT News also reports growing excitement about Tesla's autonomous ride-hailing ambitions in the region. Tesla's so-called Cybercabs have been spotted in neighboring New Zealand, with photos of distinctive, futuristic golden vehicles shared widely on social media. Tesla confirmed that these Cybercabs are in New Zealand traveling to the Southern Hemisphere proving ground near Cardrona, outside Queenstown, for cold weather testing. The presence of Cybercabs in New Zealand is being read by many enthusiasts as a signal that both New Zealand and Australia could see autonomous Tesla taxis in the relatively near future. The article notes that Waymo, one of Tesla's most prominent competitors in robotaxis, has already opened a branch in Australia, met with carmakers about partnerships, and held meetings with New South Wales government officials on potential driverless taxi trials in Sydney. For investors, this paints a picture of an oncoming battle for autonomous mobility in the Australasian region. On one side is Tesla, attempting to leverage its vehicle fleet, FSD software, and future Cybercabs. On the other is Waymo, which focuses on highly geofenced, carefully validated robotaxi services. Whoever wins significant early deployments could shape consumer expectations and regulatory norms, influencing how fast and how profitably autonomous ride-hailing scales. Now we turn from Australia and New Zealand to Europe, where regulatory and political pressures around Tesla's self-driving technology are intensifying. According to Reuters coverage summarized by multiple European outlets, Sweden's transport authorities are pushing back hard against the EU-wide approval of Tesla's FSD Supervised system. A letter from the Swedish Transport Administration, Trafikverket, dated April 30th and obtained via Freedom of Information requests, recommends that the EU not approve FSD Supervised for union-wide use unless Tesla disables the system's ability to exceed legal speed limits. News AZ, citing Reuters, explains that the Swedish letter was sent to the EU's Technical Committee on Motor Vehicles, the TCMV, which is preparing for a key discussion and a later vote on the deployment of FSD across Europe. While Tesla has already received approvals for supervised FSD use in several European countries and in limited contexts, a unified EU-level green light would be a major catalyst for broader deployment and potentially for software revenue growth in the region. The core Swedish concern focuses on the feature known as speed offset. According to News AZ, Tesla's FSD Supervised allows drivers to set a speed offset that enables the vehicle to systematically exceed posted speed limits by a user-defined margin. The Swedish Transport Administration argues that allowing an automated system to routinely break speed limits undermines both the legal framework around traffic safety and the expected safety benefits of vehicle automation. The Swedish position is reinforced by findings reported in German outlets such as Der Spiegel and Handelsblatt, which note that Tesla's own user manual acknowledges that drivers should not rely solely on the system for compliance with speed limits. At the same time, the software design permits users to override those limits via speed offset. The Swedish authorities therefore urge that this feature be removed. If not, they recommend that Sweden vote against EU-wide approval. This conflict reveals a fundamental philosophical difference in how automation and regulation should interact. From a European regulatory point of view, especially in Scandinavia, automated systems are expected to embody the law and safety best practices by default. For Tesla, however, FSD remains a driver-assist product where the human is legally and practically responsible, even if the system permits behaviors that technically break the rules when the user configures it that way. Kristelig Dagblad in Denmark mentions that Denmark's Road Traffic Authority has provisionally approved FSD Supervised for use in that country, following the earlier approval granted by the Dutch regulator RDW in April. The Danish authority reiterates that the system is strictly a driver assistance feature, not a fully self-driving system, and that the driver always retains full responsibility for complying with speed limits and other traffic laws. A Danish official emphasizes that drivers can always easily adjust speed even when using cruise control or other assist systems, and that the authority believes FSD Supervised can enhance safety overall when used correctly. Nonetheless, the article notes that Sweden and Denmark are clearly taking different stances at the EU level. Denmark leans toward conditional acceptance aligned with RDW's approach, whereas Sweden favors a more restrictive position that could block EU-wide approval unless Tesla makes design changes. For investors, this divergence inside the European Union matters. It suggests Tesla faces a fragmented regulatory landscape where some countries push for rapid adoption under clear driver responsibility rules, while others insist that the software's capabilities themselves must be constrained to conform with legal and ethical expectations. These different views could delay or complicate EU-wide deployment, potentially slowing Tesla's ability to scale FSD subscriptions across the continent. The Swedish Transport Agency has reportedly raised its concerns directly with both Tesla and the Dutch regulator in at least a 2-hour meeting, signaling that this is more than a symbolic objection. News AZ also notes that Sweden's representative in the EU committee is only expected to vote in favor if Tesla removes the speeding functionality. That creates a clear negotiation lever. Tesla can either modify FSD's behavior for Europe or risk a longer approval process and potential reputational damage. From a strategic perspective, Europe is becoming a stress test for Tesla's autonomy strategy. The company must prove that its supervised autonomy model can align with some of the most demanding safety regulators in the world. Failure to do so could limit not only software revenues but also Tesla's broader positioning as a leader in automated driving. The Eastern Herald in India mentions that these regulatory debates are unfolding against a backdrop of wider pressure on Tesla's European business. According to the Eastern Herald, Tesla faces intensifying competition in key markets like Germany, France, and the Nordic region, as both legacy automakers and Chinese manufacturers such as BYD ramp up EV offerings and push aggressive pricing. The Eastern Herald highlights that Tesla's market share in Europe has been declining compared with its earlier dominance, and that investors are increasingly focused on 3 intertwined issues: regulatory acceptance of FSD, the company's ability to stabilize or grow market share, and the reputational and political impact of Elon Musk's broader business and public profile. As European authorities scrutinize Tesla's autonomous driving claims more closely, they are also examining data transparency and marketing practices, asking whether Tesla's descriptions of full self-driving might mislead consumers about the system's actual capabilities. For investors, this raises the stakes for Tesla's branding and communication strategy. Any misalignment between marketing and regulatory expectations could invite fines, forced rebranding, or stricter usage conditions that erode the perceived advantage of FSD. At the same time, the Eastern Herald notes that Europe's regulatory environment for AI and digital technologies is tightening. Governments are introducing stronger oversight frameworks for automated systems, including those used in transport. This structural trend suggests that any company pursuing autonomous driving in Europe will face rigorous scrutiny, but Tesla's prominence and Elon Musk's profile guarantee that it will often be first in the regulatory spotlight. The Eastern Herald also points out that Elon Musk's expanding involvement in artificial intelligence beyond Tesla adds another layer of complexity. European stakeholders and investors increasingly see Tesla's autonomy roadmap, Musk's AI ventures, and his public commentary as interlinked, which can amplify both upside and risk. Positive breakthroughs can strengthen the Tesla story, but any controversy in one domain can leak over into perceptions of Tesla's governance or strategic priorities. For shareholders, the message is that Europe may not drive Tesla's next phase of FSD revenue growth as quickly as North America or selected Asia-Pacific markets. Instead, Europe could act as a barometer of how well Tesla can adapt to more conservative safety expectations while still delivering differentiated software functionality. Shifting gears, we look at a different kind of innovation, Tesla's efforts to enhance the charging experience and turn supercharger stations into full-service convenience hubs. According to HEG in Hungary and Zugla in Greece, Tesla is experimenting in Europe with adding free, on-site vacuum cleaners at select V4 Supercharger stations. At a supercharger location in Pforzheim, Germany, Tesla has installed free-to-use car vacuums alongside about 20 of its latest generation V4 charging stalls. The station also features a solar panel canopy and a waiting area for drivers. HEG notes that the idea is simple. While an electric vehicle is charging, the owner can use the complementary vacuum to clean the car's interior. Since EV drivers typically spend longer at chargers than gasoline drivers do at fuel pumps, services that help them productively use that time can significantly improve the perceived value of the charging stop. Zugla mentions that photos and videos of these new vacuums have appeared on social media, with users highlighting the convenience of being able to maintain their vehicle's interior without additional cost. Importantly, these vacuums are not restricted to Tesla owners. Any driver using the V4 chargers that are open to other EV brands can benefit, which supports Tesla's broader strategy of making its charging network an attractive option for the entire EV ecosystem, not only for its own customers. Both outlets describe this as a pilot program under evaluation by Tesla. The company has not yet announced whether it will roll out free vacuums at many more supercharger sites, but if the test proves successful, it could expand across additional European countries in the coming months. For Tesla enthusiasts, this might sound like a minor perk, yet strategically it fits into Tesla's ongoing effort to turn charging stations into comfortable, full-service rest points. In recent years, Tesla has experimented with amenities like covered parking, dedicated waiting rooms, improved lighting, tire pressure tools, and even more playful additions at some sites. These features help differentiate Tesla's network from competing charging providers, many of which still offer bare-bones infrastructure. From an investment standpoint, these kinds of small-scale amenities serve multiple purposes. They enhance customer satisfaction, which can reduce churn and strengthen brand loyalty. They support Tesla's ambition to operate the most attractive and widely used fast-charging network in key markets, making superchargers one of Tesla's most defensible strategic assets. And as V4 superchargers become more open to non-Tesla vehicles, these added services can create incremental revenue opportunities around charging sites in the future, such as retail partnerships or paid premium services. Looking across all these developments, a cohesive picture emerges for Tesla watchers. In Australia and New Zealand, Tesla is pushing the frontier of supervised autonomy and robotaxi-style services, aiming to lock in software revenue and ride-hailing opportunities in markets that are increasingly open to EVs. In Europe, by contrast, Tesla is encountering a more complex operating environment, market share pressures, stringent regulatory scrutiny over FSD's capabilities, and diverging national stances on what automation should be allowed to do. At the same time, Tesla is steadily upgrading its charging ecosystem, turning supercharger stations into more appealing destinations that can serve a growing multi-brand EV customer base. Collectively, these stories underscore that Tesla's future value will depend not only on selling vehicles, but also on winning the regulatory battles over autonomy, sustaining software adoption, competing effectively against Chinese and European rivals, and delivering a superior ownership and charging experience. That's all for today's episode of Tesla Daily News. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoy staying up to date on Tesla's global story, please subscribe and follow for future episodes.